Segment 2, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. Web, ntnm.org. Check out our YouTube stuff. You'll find links there. 250,000 shows watched, community policing, real big on that. caps24.org for all the meetings in 2413 and 2412. Sonny runs 2413 as chairman of the District Advisory Committee. All the meetings for the 24th District, West Rogers Park and Rogers Park. We have a community activist. We've had him on before. He's also involved, I don't know his exact title. He's also with the West Rogers Park Community Organization that had a fascinating TIFF meeting. Unfortunately, I really wanted to go. I was really busy that night. And even though Ben Jaworski avoids writing me back, and he has for years, I love reading his articles, especially about TIFs. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for him. And you also had Tom Trescher there,
yes,
from the Illinois Green Party. And you know what? Even though I don't vote for those guys, they try to have a fair and square view about a lot of things, and TIFs is one of them.
Absolutely.
So, Ahmed Khan, I need to introduce you.
Thanks for having me on, Avi.
First of all,
always a pleasure.
What is your title with RIPCO?
Well, I serve as chair of the West Rogers Park Community Organization.
Oh, so you're the chief cook and bottle washer.
Yeah, just it was elected unanimously about in March.
Yeah.
We had a big community event, and so I've been serving as chair for the organization since then.
Very nice. I'll tell you afterwards. Anyway, listen, so you had the meeting. It was at Devon Bank. It was
Yes.
well attended.
Yeah, I mean, so one of the first big events that I thought that, that it came across my table was a project that is being spearheaded by Mr. Thomas Tresser. That's the TIFF Illumination Project. So basically, Professor Tresser, I say professor because he also teaches at UIC. And so he's basically been taking an initiative, and he's going ward by ward and holding similar community meetings that we had in the 50th ward, and just doing what the program suggests, that they're illuminating the TIFs in each ward, kind of basically giving people an understanding of what, how many TIFs are in their district or are in their specific ward, and how much of this money has been extracted over the years, and exactly where do these funds go and what is being funded in their neighborhoods. So we decided to reach out to Tom and do that in the 50th ward. We also invited Ben Jaworski from the Chicago Reader, as you mentioned.
And he actually is the person who brought to light to Chicagoans the problems with TIFs.
Absolutely.
People would be unaware without Ben.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a strong critic of the TIF program, for as long as I can remember, and we thought these two people together would have given a great event, and it was a great event. We had over 70 people that attended. I personally thought, on a warm evening, it was just like 80 degrees outside, that people were not crazy enough to be locked into the basement of Devon Bank to talk about TIFs. But surprisingly, we had to pull out chairs because we had more attendees than expected. And so basically, I'll just share some facts and figures about what we talked about. So, I mean, TIFs are one of the most, researched and one of the most talked about topics in our city of Chicago, but on the flip side, they're one of the most misunderstood and one of, the ones that people don't have the most knowledge about. It's kind of weird how that works because it is such a complicated topic. So, I mean, just some figures that I wrote out. So in Chicago, I mean, there's TIF districts all across Cook County, all across Illinois. So in Chicago itself, there's 163 TIF districts. And all those TIF districts cumulatively, just in 2011, extracted $454 million.
I should point out that stands for Tax Increment Financing
Yes.
District. And basically what they do is they freeze real estate tax within a certain area where the TIF is.
Right.
And the extra money goes into the TIF funds to be spent at the discretion of usually the mayor of the city of Chicago,
Right.
Unfortunately. And if two districts are connected, they can be siphoned off.
Right. So basically, I mean, that's a basic definition of a TIFs, tax increment financing. And it's basically, the money collected is to give subsidies or these public resources to private companies to spur development and fund construction.
Within an area that in theory is supposed to be a little bit under the weather.
Yeah, I mean, that's the theory.
So what are the two TIFs in our area?
Well, we have, I mean, there's about 5 TIFs that fall, our 50th ward has. Some, it takes parts of it. Some it takes, the entirety of it. And so specifically about the 50th ward, I mean, well, I'd like to tell you this because we hear so many cuts across, different, committees and whatnot in the city of Chicago saying that, the city is broke. But I mean, it's an interesting number because at the end of 2011, the city had $1.7 billion of unspent TIF money. And basically,
we could buy our parking meters back.
Right, exactly. And I mean, there's the issue that comes up with that is because these TIF funds are so constrained within a law that we brought down from almost 250 school closings to 50, and someone would think that you have all this money that is left over. Why can't we use that money? Well, TIFs technically can be used for school construction, but TIFs can't be used for the daily operations of schools, for example. So just, some facts and figures that were mentioned. So for example, in the 50th ward in 2011, we collected $3.7 million. And the 23% of the 50th ward falls into TIF districts. And at the beginning of 2012, there was $15 million left unspent in the 50th ward TIF accounts. So I mean, that's a lot of money that the 50th ward has that could be used for anything. And so, I mean, I just like to share with people that, well, that money is going to be used, and I'm not sure if you're aware of it, is one of the big projects that's being planned that Alderman had held multiple community forums regarding this, is that $13.3 million of those dollars in the next so many years is going to be used for the Devon Avenue streetscape.
That I'm aware of.
Yes, and so my personal opinion about the Devon Avenue streetscape, and because, this is TIF funds, this is money that's being used for the betterment of the community. In theory, I think it's a great idea that, the beautification of Devon Avenue, it's a cultural business place that does need cleaning up, and, there's little things that can be done to improve it and highlight it. The way it's being implemented, I'm really, really opposed to that. And why I'm opposed to that is when you have $15 million that are being spent, community input should be sought. Now, we've had our aldermen holding community meetings, but the meetings basically bringing city officials and telling people this is what we're going to do. It's not really asking or engaging people, what do you want done in the area? I mean, there was a task force created for this purpose. I know all the individuals that were on that task force. Same concept. The people on that task force were just told that this is what's going to happen. Basically, there was no input. Mind you, the few things that were asked of the community was basically what shape of lampposts do you want, and what kind of artwork do you want in the middle of the street. They're going to put some big artwork in the middle of, such as Western Avenue and Devon Avenue where they intersect. So that's basically the only community input that was sought for how to spend.
We've got about a minute, so.
Yeah, so for how to spend $15 million. And, I don't think that, the streets were widened back in the day. Now they're going to be narrowed again to make the sidewalks bigger. I think, I don't think the streetscape's going to actually cover ameliorate parking. It's not going to ameliorate traffic issues. This was brought up to the officials that came, and they said that that's not what the project is intended for. And I think if you don't improve that on Devon Avenue first, it's really pushing people away. People are moving their businesses to the suburbs, and people are going to shop over there. I mean,
the only thing transparent about our Alderman Deborah Silverstein are her bad intentions and her lack of any understanding of how things should work and run.
Yeah,
that's me too. Well, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I mean, Indian Boundary Park is still pending. That project has not moved forward. We have I've used it, but a prehistoric library that just has not, advancements have not been done to it.
Part of the problem, to be honest with you, and I deal with a lot of different city departments, even though I wouldn't deal with, people in City Hall don't like Deborah, don't like dealing with her, and find her so heavy-handed and so vile and
Well,
clueless.
I mean that's a concern because a lot of things are leaving our neighborhood. We have, for example, the Thillins family just backed off of their involvement in Thillins.
Yeah, they had the ball taken down.
Yeah, so
But at this point, we're really out of time, and we need to have at least one or two Marty Levinsons in the beginning of the show. So you get invited back to talk more about this because I love the neighborhood stuff. And hey, I want to see somebody run against Deborah who's substantial. That'd be great. Ahmed Khan, I want to thank you very much. Thank you so much for joining us. Chair of Ripco, maybe it'll be a better organization with him running it. I'm sure it will. Thank you, my entire technical crew. Sonny Hirsch, we're over time. Bye.